week where my parents were fighting a lot. So bad that my dad left the house a couple of times and didn't come back until about 3 hours later. It was getting to a point where I couldn't handle it anymore. I wanted to run away so I couldn't hear them anymore, because not only were they yelling at each other, they were making me feel hopeless. It was like they were taking it out on me, and all I could do was just sit there and take whatever they threw at me. I was able to get out of the house once to go to a friend's house, but I didn't want to go back and listen to them yelling again. I was scared for them, that they might decide they couldn't handle each other anymore. I was scared to go back and got chewed out for something I didn't do. Now, it's important for you to know that those are not stories that I found online. Those are not stories that I found on Google and I typed out, "Teenagers afraid to go home." Those stories are from students that have sat in the very chairs that you are sitting in tonight. These stories are from students that you might possibly know. And they were afraid to go home. They were dealing with echophobia. Is it possible tonight you're dealing with echophobia? There's many reasons why you and I could be afraid to go home, but tonight I'm going to focus on 2 reasons, and one of them is this. One reason is the fact that you and I might do something, we might make a decision, we might do something stupid, and as a result we fear going home because of the potential consequences. It could be something at school. You might have taken an apple instead of giving it to the teacher. You hit her in the face with it. Something of that nature, and you're afraid to go home because you know Mom is not going to be happy with the fact that you imprinted Mrs. whatever her name is with a big old apple mark on her eye, okay? That could be one of the reasons. Another reason why teenagers are afraid to go home is for things that they themselves can't control. Sometimes teenagers are afraid to go home because of abuse. Could be verbal, could be sexual, could be anything. Might not have anything to do with you as a teenager, but maybe it's your parents that battle each other. Maybe drugs are being used in your home. Maybe your home seems to be like a place where a prostitute would live. I don't know. But those are 2 very real reasons as to why teenagers have echophobia. But I want to tell you tonight, no matter what reason you are afraid, whatever reason it is that you have fear when it comes to your home, you can overcome it. You can overcome it. I got 2 stories from the Bible I want to read tonight. They're kind of lengthy stories. One story you are going to know right off the top of your head, and you're going to think, yep, I know that story, I know how it ends, I know what happens. The second story, you probably haven't even heard of before. We're going to do the first story first, obviously. It's the parable of the lost son. When I stop reading, what are you supposed to do? Read. Very good. Does anyone like water? Like a big water fan where if you could get something other than a soda, you might get a water? Cool. Awesome. All right. The parable of the lost son. Jesus continued. There was a man who had 2... All right, let's try sons. There was a man who had 2 sons. Very good. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild...
And then... Oh, you're missing the first verses.
Okay. All right. Okay. So he went... all right. After he had